Hey everybody, welcome back to another movie review. Hope you guys been enjoying the content on the channel as of late. This one's probably going to be pretty short because I don't know if I have much to say about it, for it's a pretty self-contained piece. That piece being Causeway, starring Jennifer Lawrence, produced by A24, released by Apple TV, um, and tells a story of a soldier played by Jennifer Lawrence, who returns from war. She is a bomb victim. She was unfortunately um, um, recovering from a very traumatic experience during her time in the military, and she befriends a friend played by Brian Tyree Henry, and the movie details her journey towards reconstruction and how she personally deals with her own trauma with returning from war, but also the traumas that she has within her own household, within her own family dynamics, and with um, just the aura of the house, and um, and that's pretty much what the film is. It's not any deeper than that, um, and as I said up front, it's a very self-contained film. It's also a very simple film. It's not something that is needing a lot of attention. Um, it's a very quiet film. It kind of just goes through the motions, um, and it feels a lot. It feels more reliant than it is in depth, because Jennifer Lawrence's performance is great. I think that that's what really keeps the film afloat, because she brings a very subtle nature to this part that I feel is needed, and the film is really anchoring on that performance and hoping that that performance works for it to deliver on some of the ideas, and um, and she does. She does. She brings a very committed performance, and um, a lot of I'd say the greatness of that performance comes from the beginning, where you see her at the at her severe points with dealing with PTSD, and her having to settle into some kind of normalcy, um, and to a degree, I like some of the visual ideas that the film plays on, like this idea of water that Jennifer Lawrence's character finds very comforting. Because once you learn about her experience with in the military and a particular incident that happened, you see why she is so comforted by the idea of water, because it's the opposite to fire, and fire brings out a certain um, reminds her of a certain thing, where water, as it is, it's a very calming and relaxing and therapeutic element. Um, so it's simple, and to a degree, it's effective. Mostly due to Jennifer Lawrence's performance, but that also is what takes what that simplicity, while it does work for that performance, and giving that performance some merit, it also goes against the film in general, because the story doesn't feel like it has much going on, rather than just seeing this character coming um, to a predictable conclusion. There's this running idea that she might return to the military, or she might be, redeployed, as they phrase it. And obviously, not to give anything away, but obviously, we know what the outcome of all that will be. Um, and the film is not the film is not interested in doing anything um, uh, deeply meaningful. It's looking to just stay in some very simple waters, and for what it's trying to do, I feel that it works, but I feel that it also takes a lot away, from an emotional point of view, because it's a very melancholy type film, um, and when we watch this performance play out, and we're seeing this character being presented, that's where I feel the strengths lie. But once we kind of start to really feel out its story and feel out its overall narrative, it just is kind of lacking, especially in its screenplay. The screenplay is just so, I wouldn't say super weak, but it's definitely the component um, that is lacking the most. Especially at the beginning, it's a very like simple dialogue, Um, but for what it is, it's it for what it gets right with Jennifer Lawrence's performance and that character. And I feel that the aura itself and just the attitude of the film, I feel is appropriate for what it gets right in those areas. It is definitely um it's definitely an investment. You know, there is an engagement to be had there, and there is intrigue with this character, and there is um some level of involvement had. Um, it's when we have to then look at the entire story as a whole, and then we start listening to the dialogue, is where we start to see the film show its weak sides. And what you get is a film that ultimately works together um, in some grounds, but it kind of stumbles in others. Um, so it's a fair piece. I think that's kind of the best word for it is fair, but I wish that there was more, because it had the capacity to be more. Um, I think that the best comparison I can give to Causeway is a film called Driveways. It acts very much in that same kind of attitude where it's very peaceful and melancholy and very meditative kind of mindset, and and I think it's appropriate for what they're trying to do with Causeway. I just wish that they had more to do with that character and they presented more with for that character and just in general with the whole story. I wish there was more meat that was given because um, it feels like we were given a nibble and not really the whole meal. And I wish that we had gotten the whole meal, especially for a story like this about basically how one deals with trauma and how they come to begin their road of recovery. Um, it's a story that it's again similar to like films that I saw previously, like Armageddon Time. Um, it's a story that you've seen before, and it's not necessarily um, the performances or the filmmaking that is the problem. The problem is that there is a sense of creativity that's missing. There's not a lot of creativity or distinction being had. It just feels like a film that just goes through the motions. And for what it gets right, it's like I said, it's investing and it's engaging, but it definitely feels that there's more that needed to be had than there's just feels like there's more that should have happened within that story, but because it feels very self-contained, and I wish it wasn't that way. I wish there was more going on than what we had. But for what we had, it's not bad. It's just to say that it's to say that it's that there could have been more. That's the best way to put it. There should have been more. So, so that's my thoughts on Causeway. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine with a good performance at the center of it, but ultimately just fine. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you guys like Causeway? Did you guys not like Causeway? Are you guys kind of in the middle? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. And that's it for my thoughts on Causeway. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more reviews in the future. And until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video.